Hello and welcome to my channel. What am I doing in a former Soviet Union park? Well, the answer is very simple. People attach locks to the railings. Now, this is a very old tradition. However, we have to understand the roots of this tradition. This tradition goes back thousands and thousands of years. Why does it go back thousands of years? Well, it's a known way of communicating with Djinn. Now, attaching the padlock to the gate may be very romantic and it may have some kind of deep meaning. However, magically, it's absolutely useless. And the reason why it's useless is because the bridge is stuck still. If one is going to attach a lock to something, it has to be something that moves. This is why you quite often see false doors, especially in Persian buildings, because a lock was attached to them. However, the Djinn was bound to the lock. How is the Djinn bound to the lock? Well, this is quite interesting. First, you have to know the name of the Djinn. After you have the name of the Djinn, you then bind it to the lock. But it's not that simple. Knowing the name and binding it is half the battle. What you really need to know is who rules that Djinn. Is it Ifrit? Is it Jan? Is it Shaitan? What type of being is it? Then you have to understand who is the king of this being. This is why Djinn magic is very complicated, because everything in the Djinn is hierarchical. They have kings, they have emiracies, they have knights. So understanding this level of hierarchy enables you to be able to contact the entity that you wish. Obviously, you wouldn't want to contact a king for something that is relatively unimportant. However, you have to contact a king first, who will send an emiracy. Then you speak to the emiracy. They will then offer you a Djinn for the appropriate sacrifice. So if you're going to do lock magic, it has to be onto a door or onto a wooden box. The Djinn has to be bound to it, and there also has to be an agreement as to how long the Djinn will be on the lock. If the Djinn is on the lock too long, then you've broken the agreement, and the king will send a legion to come looking for the Djinn that essentially you've now kidnapped. This really isn't a wise move, because they will hurt, they will destroy, and they will kill. So to recap, the lock has to be on some kind of moving door. That's the first thing. Secondly, you have to know the Djinn, you have to know the king. However, it's more complicated than that. You also have to understand what planet is in orbit, what time of the day, what hour you need. More importantly, you have to understand, do you need a Jan? Do you need a male Jan? Do you need a female Jan? Do you need an Ifrit? Do you need a male or a female? Do you need a Shaitan? Or do you need a Marid? All these questions have to be known, because if they're not known, then essentially the spell will not work, or you will end up in a position where you have no power. I hope this has been useful. I wouldn't recommend binding any Djinn, and I certainly wouldn't recommend attaching a lock to a solid fence, because it depends on how your mind is. Everyone is very stressed on a wedding day, and you lock that stress into your relationship, and that relationship will always have stress in it. So locking it may be very romantic on the day, but wedding couples, in my experience, are very rarely blissful. They're usually worried, they're usually concerned, but they are certainly not harmonious. And if you are going to lock it, find a door that you don't use, lock it onto the door, or even make a little door or buy a little box. Anyway, I hope that has been helpful, not hopeful. If you've liked what I've done, please tick the like and subscribe. Namaste.